About humans flourishing. Good afternoon, dear listeners. We discuss issues that affect our daily lives and our society. And I am your host for today, Omotolani Dari. Today we are focusing on environmental protection and sanitation in Kwara State, the challenges, government efforts, and the role of the people. I'm pleased to welcome a very important guest to the studio. We are truly honored to have with us a distinguished and visionary leader in environmental management, the General Manager of the Kwara Environmental Protection Agency, KWEPA. So we welcome him into the show today. Sir, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. I'm glad to have you. I wish you a happy new year and a prosperous 2026.
All right, sir. Sir, please can you introduce yourself by name and describe your role as the General Manager of KWEPA?
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Jide Aino. I'm the General Manager of Kwara State Environmental Protection Agency.
Okay.
Kwara State Environmental Protection Agency is an agency under the Kwara State Ministry of Environment. We have the vision to provide the people of Kwara State with a clean environment for sustainable development.
Okay.
We have the vision to provide a clean and healthy environment for the people to live in, and to make sure that the state is clean and habitable for people to live.
In for all of us in Kwara State.
Yes.
Okay. So what is the overall mandate of KWEPA, and how does the agency support the environmental vision of Kwara State?
The KWEPA is an enforcement agency whereby we have the law to enforce most of the environmental laws in the state.
Okay.
And we make sure there is compliance, because where there is law and there is no compliance, that means the law is not existing. So we are the agency that is saddled with the enforcement of all environmental laws in the state, and that's what we have been doing.
Okay, so now according to what you say, KWEPA is all about, for people like me that believe that KWEPA is just about environmental sanitation and all, what other things or what other area do we have KWEPA working on, apart from the general notion that KWEPA is just for environmental sanitation?
Yeah, we at the agency is a statutory one that has the law to cover a lot of places.
Okay.
We cover the health safety activities of companies, schools, and industries. We cover the fumigation aspect of the state where people are doing business. If you look at the last COVID we have, everybody have to make sure that the environment is fumigated.
Yes.
Against pests and all that.
Yes,
So we make sure that people comply to that. We carry out environmental management plan in the states. When you are having an industry, a company, you have to have an environmental management plan. That is, how do you intend to manage your environment? How do you intend to manage your waste? How do you intend to control all these environmental menace, so that it's not at the end of the day when you open a company you don't put all these things in place. It generates a lot of issues and problems for the people working in your company. We work with schools to make sure that the schools are beatable, from primary school to tertiary institutions, where the numbers of classrooms you have should be enough to accommodate the numbers of students you have in there. We carry out that's a school inspection too, to make sure that you have toilet for students to use, you have a good playing ground, and your school premises is a good one for people to learn in, and companies, industries, hospitals, a lot of places. We covered a lot of places in the state. So ours is just to make sure that the environment is habitable for your workers, is habitable for people out there, and the environment, the general environment too, where you are having your companies, your industries too, you are not actually disturbing their well-being. So the agency is a very wide one in scope. that we cannot underrate or underestimate our our scope.
Okay. Now, for what you said, we have a lot to do. A lot is being done in Kwepa as an umbrella. So, for the benefit of today's program, because we have limited time, we have to work with the environmental sustainability and building a cleaner state, building a cleaner Kwara. So that will be our theme for today. So everything we'll be saying for today is not limited to this. We can probably a question might be get a question and then we dive into more things, but basically what we'll be talking about on the part of Pepper for today is the building a cleaner state. So which moves us to the next question. How would you describe the current environmental situation in Kwara State, including the major challenges facing the state based on environmental sanitation, sir?
Currently, I can tell you categorically that Kora is moving forward in terms of environmental compliance, and His Excellency Malam Abdurrahman Abdurazak is investing a lot in Kora environment to make sure that we have a clean and healthy environment. If you look at the last festive season, a lot of people came into the town for their festivity. They attest to it that Kora is clean, Kora is clean, and this is not just the effort of the staff alone, is also an intentional effort of His Excellency to make sure that the state has some necessary equipment to carry out their activities in terms of waste management, waste collections for the private, for commercials, and for individuals. And that is why you see that the state has been able to achieve these results to this extent. And also, currently, if you look at the interior part of the town, you see there are rural bins in town where people can go and dump their refuse, unlike before where people don't find it hard to see where they will dump their refuse. And if in the morning, if you stand on the main road, you see the state truck,
Yes.
compactor moving around
Okay.
to pick people's dumps, their garbage and all
Right.
that, to make sure that they don't litter the town. Because so you see, the issue of waste is that when you leave a waste, this person comes to dump his own, I drop my own, you drop, before you know,
Becomes
that it
collective.
becomes collective. And waste is something we generate every time, every minute. So the state cannot just leave it and say we'll come next week. If you leave it for 2 days, it will be obvious around the whole town. So people are out there working day in, day out to make sure that the state is clean. And we have our environmental health officers who always go out to sensitize people, who always go out to make sure there is enforcement, who always go out to attend to people's complaint. Like currently we have a lot of complaint on people not having toilets, people that their soccerways are filled up already.
Yes.
And that is what we are working on now, to make sure that we attend to all these complaints. We go to see things ourselves and we call all necessary parties together to let them know that, oh, your soccerway is filled up, you need to deseat it, you need to get the necessary things you need to put in place, so that you don't just inconvenience the people yourself alone, but the people at your immediate surrounding.
Okay. So from what you said now, does it mean that the moving truck as is now more use more than the standby waste disposal? Is that what?
All of them are being used together.
Okay.
The moving truck move around because
On
as
a daily
we've
basis.
been working to make sure that people don't dump on the road medians, you still see people dumping on the road medians, and we can't say okay, we ask them not to dump it, they dump, we leave it. So the compactors are moving around to make sure, okay, all these ones are not supposed to get, they pick it up, all these ones are not supposed to get, they pick it up. And when people see them passing, some people still take their refuse to them to go and dump it on the compactor too. Why some people patronize the commercial waste collectors, that you stay in your house, they will come to your doorstep to pick your waste and you take care of them at the end of the month. Depends on your agreement.
Okay. So for the can you tell us more about the commercial waste disposal? Like how do they work? Do they have specific areas in Kwara State that they go, or anybody can just call them and walk up to them and tell them that, okay, I want you to come to my place. I live here in somewhere in Kwara State, and say, okay, I want you to come and dispose my residue. Is that how does it work with that for the commercial, for people that do not know how it works?
The commercial waste collectors have been aligned and partitioned according to areas they cover, so we don't have overlap of functions and duties. So people that are covering agric, we have a commercial waste collectors that cover this area.
That's
So
the area that we are in.
yeah,
Okay.
so they really want to come to you with the engagement letter and tell you I'm the one in charge of this area, I'm the one taking your waste here, and you discuss, you subscribe to their collection pattern. And if it's something that is you have an agreement on, then they'll come to your doorstep to pick your waste. So you don't need to go to the road medians, you don't need to struggle to look for rural bins. You just stay in your house at your convenience. They come at the agreed time to take your waste and they take it to the dump site.
Okay, so the agreement or the coming of those commercial waste disposal people is based on your agreement. It could be every day, it could be weekly, it could be according to how. So they don't. There's no day that they don't say I'm off today. We are not working today. Please call us tomorrow.
Depends on
nothing like that.
Yeah, depends on your agreement and your agreement with them. So that's what determines when and what time they come to pick your waste.
Okay. Now moving to the next question. What measures has Kwepa put in place to improve waste management across the state? And I think we can also ask that what projects or initiatives should we expect from the Kwepa for possible waste disposal?
Yeah, like I said, His Excellency is investing in the environmental activities in the states. Recently, there were the purchase of some new compactors added to the ones and some forklifts, more forklifts to what we have, and we acquired like over 70 more rural bins to meet up with the public demand. Oh, we need rural bin in our area, we need rural bin in our area. And now if you move around town, you see that all these rural bins are in town. And if you provide the rural bins and you don't provide the forklifts that will take them away, that means you are creating more problem. So His Excellency has procured more forklifts, more compactors, and that is why you see that we are able to meet up with the collections of waste in the state. And this year we are still looking up to more initiative, more projects from the state governments, because the waste people, if you look at the Lorry is getting bigger and it's getting larger day in, day out, and we need to be prepared for the waste people we generate.
Yes.
Because we can't just leave, say, okay, Lorry was like this last year, it's going to be like this year. If you look at the outlook of the town, there are a lot of roads being constructed, there are a lot of infrastructures, business, and the more these things come in, the more people come into town, and the more people come into town, the more waste we generate. So the state is also preparing and working towards meeting up to all these problems at the end of the day.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Now, moving on to the next one. What major challenges does Kwepa face in carrying out its mandate effectively? Like, what are those things that people do, or like those challenges you face while disposing this duty?
I think one of our major challenge is that we need to do a lot of value orientation in the people, because people don't actually understand that they are responsible for the waste they generate. People know they are responsible for the food they eat, but people are not aware that, oh, after generating this waste, it is my responsibility to dispose it off in the right way. That's why you see people dumping refuse on the drainage. That's why you see you have a shop, your drainage is filled up, you are not thinking of how you can deseat it, because when rain falls, if you don't deseat your drainage, the water will move into your shops. So people are not conscious of the fact that this is my responsibility.
And we are the one causing some of the
yes,
problems.
it is my lifestyle that leads to this menace.
Okay.
It is my responsibility to take care of the effect of what I've caused for myself. So a lot of people just wait for government to come and do this, to come and do that, not knowing that this is my responsibility. I caused it, I have to take care of it, because I'm going to be the beneficiary of it at the end of the day. So it's a major problem that we are facing, that people are not yet aware that they are responsible for the waste they generate.
All right, thank you, sir. Moving on to the next question. Before we move to the next question, I don't know if our dear listeners are preparing their questions, because I believe that we have a lot of things that we want to ask from the Kwepa, from Dave Kwepa. And then we have our studio lines to be 0705 690 2827. I'll take it again, 0705 690 2827, and our second line is also 0903 191 7355, 0903 191 7355. 5 5. Now moving on to the next question. Basically, this period we are supposed to be in the Amatan season. The weather is supposed to have changed, supposed to be foggy, and then we know that okay, yes, this is another year. Even the effective period, we were not feeling it because we were not feeling the season because of the weather condition. So, sir, I'm asking that what do you think is the cause of this climate change from the Pepper perspective, from a Pepper point of view? What do you think is the cause of this climate change, especially in this Amatan period?
Yeah, the one of the cause of the change in the climate that we are facing is our attitude towards the environment. You say sometimes back, the Ministry of Environment was the even the state government had to put a ban on charcoal production. That is
Okay.
indiscriminate falling of trees. You see the way people fall trees indiscriminately. You see the way people burn refuse. All these things leads to some carbon emissions that goes into the hormone system, and these are things that affect the hormone, the weather. That at the end of the day, it alters what we are supposed to, the weather condition, and if it gets too long, that's when we say it's a climatic change. So now we're having climate change, and that's why you see by now we are not feeling the season we are supposed to feel.
Yeah,
And
the
that's why
Harmattan
the
season.
state has been encouraging people to plant trees. Let us plant trees. Let us stop indiscriminate falling of trees. Let us give room for water flow. We should not dump our refuse in the waterways, because these waters goes into the rivers goes into the ocean, and this is still what comes back to us. But we are not, people are not conscious of that. We just feel like we are smart, but it's not that we are smart. We are still the one that we enjoy, that will face the effect of it at the long run. So we plead with people, let us have a positive attitude towards our environmental management system, so that the effect of it is going to be a positive one to us. Indiscriminate falling of trees, the use of carbon, some, you see a lot of things that are happening in the society that are causing the depletion of the hormone system, and this is the effect of it that we are facing now. So we need to look at our attitudinal change towards environmental activities.
Okay, thank you, sir. Now, I think from what you said, there are mistakes we are making, and some things that we are supposed to do that we are not doing, and there are things that we are supposed to do that we're not doing, yes, and things that we are not to do that we are doing. So now, which brings me to this question: that what environmental laws or regulations are the rules or regulations that the residents of Kwara State should know that can address all this climate changes condition?
Yeah, I think the environmental laws that, if we're talking about the citizens generally, is the when we talk about their waste management, as we've been talking about before, people should be conscious of how they manage their waste as a state, as an individual, and as a company, manufacturing company. We should look at a more sustainable way of carrying out our business. There are a lot of environmental friendly activities where you can make use of solar, where you reduce the level of your machines that release carbon into the atmosphere. So that's one of the things we try to do, so that people can just look at the best practices that will make life good for the people around them. Not just that we are looking at money making and not looking at the effect of it. Look at the issue of, now we should encourage people to go more into CNG and electric cars, because the carbon the vehicles are giving out to the people is actually also causing damage to the society. So these are things people should embrace. Conversion of their vehicles to CNG is cheaper and is more environmental friendly.
Really?
Electric vehicles, people should consider, instead of buying a PMS vehicle, they should consider electric vehicles. These are things that will help save the society, the environment for the future, not the current scenario we are looking at. So, and the individual too, we should have an attitudinal change towards our waste management. The schools owners, the shop owners, you see a lot of people, they have shops, they don't have waste bin. You understand?
Yes.
We employ the people 2026. If you have a shop, have a waste bin, the state government is going to be selling waste bin to the people at a subsidized rate, so that it can be affordable for them to buy and have in their shops. Sometimes you'll be passing, you see someone sweeping their shop, sweeping it into the drainage. The drainage is not your waste bin. It's not your dumping site. It's supposed to be for water flow, easy water flow. But when you sweep all what you are sweeping from your shop into the gutter, what happens at the end of the day? The gutter gets filled up. And when rain falls, what happens? It will be hard for the water to flow. So these are things we plead with people to look into as we move into the 2026. And also our market sanitation. The people, market is a place where there are a lot of waste that are being generated.
Yes.
So the state government has declared every Thursday of the week as market sanitation day, where you don't
getting subsidized price for waste bin. Now probably, okay, let's say we have that waste bin and we get that waste disposal from the organization. And so how do we dispose those waste bin, those dirts? How do we dispose that? Do we still have to follow another plan on your schedule or on your budget or on your listing for us to dispose the waste we acquired from our shops?
That's why we say we have commercial waste collectors. As a business owner, the waste you generate is different from an household waste.
Okay.
That means you have to have a commercial waste collector that will be coming to pick this waste from you. That's why I said people need to know that they are responsible for the waste they generate. You understand?
Yes.
People are not conscious of the fact that I'm doing business. Let's say you are selling TV, you're selling all these things that you have a lot of papers that you generate. There are a lot of people who buy papers from people to recycle. You understand? And other things that cannot be recyclable, that are not recyclable, then you actually look for commercial waste collectors that will come and pick them from you. It's not just about having the waste bin. The waste bin is just for you to always have your day-to-day waste into the bin. So you don't just put it on the
And dispose
drainage, or you
anyhow.
don't dispose anyhow. But when you have a waste bin, when you sweep, you put it into your waste bin. When it's filled up, you already have an agreement with the person that will be coming to pick it up. So that's the commercial waste collectors that will be coming to your doorstep to pick it.
So now for the commercial is basically for residents and for people like in their houses, and then for majorly, I think it's now saying it's majorly for those at the business segment, that is basically for them, since they are at their work environment and they cannot really dispose their waste as someone that is at home can probably be. Is it like that?
Yeah, it is like that because you're a commercial entity. Most of all these commercial areas is hard for you to put our rural bins there. So that's why they need to make use of the commercial waste collectors to come and pick their waste on the regular dates as agreed between them.
Okay, thank you, sir. I don't know if our listeners are ready with their questions. Our studio lines are very open to everybody, and I will say the numbers now. We have 0705 690 2827. I'll take it again, 0705 690 2827. And our second line is 0903 191 7355. I'll take that again too, 0903 191 7355. If you have your questions ready, you can begin to let them flow in, dial our numbers. You can start calling in. Alright, I think we have a caller. Hello caller, good afternoon. Good afternoon, sir. Sir? Yes, this is Emirate Radio 98.5 FM. Yes, you are in, sir. Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Okay, sir. Hello, sir, we are with you. Hello, sir, we are with you, sir. Okay, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Sir, do you have anything to say about that? Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much. We'll take note of your submission and we'll work on it.
Okay, thank you, dear listener. We know that you have a lot of things to say. Please, you can still call us. We are very much available. Our studio lines are open to every one of us. 0705-690-2827 and 0903-191-7355. Alright, so moving on to the next question. I'd like to ask if there's any disciplinary action for anyone caught that is flouting those rules.
Yeah, when we say enforcement, the enforcement agency are not just policy makers,
Yes, sir.
and that's why we are enforcement agency to make sure that if there are defaulters, there are already laws that are on ground that is going to take care of defaulters. So sometimes people pay fines, sometimes people are made to do the needful
Yes, sir.
with evidence. It's not just you telling us I'll do it. We do follow up. There's something we call an abatement notice, where we invite you over when we discover you've carried out an environmental menace. Then those things we discover that your premises will be itemized. So at the end of the day, when we are coming to treat the issue, we make sure that we mark all what we identified at your premises, and we make sure that you've done the needful. Like I said, we have trained professionals. The environmental health officers are always on ground to attend to issues like this, because they are trained to take care of such activities and to attend to environmental menace in the state.
Okay, thank you. Public cooperation on how we can make Kwara State clean. Let's have you.
So we are using this medium to plead with the good people of Kwara State to cooperate with His Excellency Malam Abdurrahman Abdurazak to have a clean and healthy environment in the states. This government cannot do it alone, and as we know that democracy is government of the people, by the people, and for the people, which means that we are all the government. And if government is putting money in things, then we, the citizens, need to also make sure that this money that are put into all these investments we are judiciously making good use of it, and we are supporting the government to make good use of it. We say we pay tax, government using our tax to provide a good environment. Then we need to also make sure that our tax money we are paying is also used judiciously. We cannot do it alone. The environmental health officer cannot do it alone. All our staffs cannot do it alone. But if all of us join our hands together and we stand against indiscriminate dumping of refuse and all other environmental menace in the state, we will see the result. Just as someone said that Kwara State looks like London. Looking like London is not just a day work. It's not my effort alone. It's a collective responsibility. It's a collective effort. And we still plead with Kwarans to join hands with us to make sure that we achieve a clean and healthy environment for all.
Thank you so much, sir. So I believe a lot of people have things to say and possible things to say in the future. So I want to ask, how can members of the public report environmental issues or violations to QEPA?
So we have the contact line for environmental issues in the states. You can always report any environmental menace to this number: 091 147 07577, 091 147 07577. This is our Eagle's Eye contact, where you can report any environmental issues in your surroundings too. This number is available 24 hours, and the people that will attend to you are always on ground to follow up with whatever complaint you give them. And we assure you that is a confidential contact. You are safe to call these contacts. You are free to call this contact, and whatever you discuss with us, when we confirm that it is true, we are going to work on it. So we plead with everyone to always reach out to this contact for complaint on environmental issues.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. We'll go on a short break and come back quickly. Dear listeners, please stay with us. Well done, sir.
Thank you.
Alright, we are still on Can We Talk About It? We are still on Can We Talk About It? And so far so good. We have the general manager of Kwepa here with us, Honorable Aino Jide. He has been giving us insight on how to make Kwara, or how to keep Kwara State clean. He has given us other things, that the measures that the government has put in place, the initiatives and the projects the government has put in place for us to have a cleaner and a beautiful Kwara. And we've been enjoying our listeners, that we believe that they've been enjoying us on this show today. And then on our studio line we have 0705-690-2827 and 0903-191-7355. Alright, so before we leave, I'd like to ask this question, sir. Finally, what can you give us as our key message, as our core message that we can use as a take home on this show? What is your key message to the people of Kwara State regarding environmental responsibility, on waste management, on everything, sir, basically?
I think my take home for the good people of Kwara is to appreciate you for your support and cooperation over the years, and we plead for more cooperation from you this 2026. Frequently you'll be seeing us in your streets, at your doorsteps, at your business premises. We plead with you to cooperate with us, to listen to us, and to support us to make sure that we achieve our mandate to have a clean and healthy environment. We appreciate everyone and the Emirate FM. We say thank you.
Last question, I just remembered. Now, for about environmental, we know about noise pollution, air pollution. Now, for air pollution, there are cases why people use the gutter, the drainage as their restroom. So, what do you think we can do? What is Kwepa planning to do on getting us public toilets?
Yeah, there are a lot of public toilets in the states. Like a lot of public toilets that have been constructed by the ministry, by WASA. Recently, you will see that the states has been declared, 2 local governments in Kwara State was declared open defecation free, and this is courtesy of His Excellency Malam Abdurrahman Abdrazak provision for public toilets to people. A lot of public toilets are in town. You see one in Alanomo, you see at Ajashepu. There are a lot of this Solidero Park. So we have a lot of public toilets for people to use. Just that, when we talk about attitudinal change and orientation of the people need to actually know that it is not normal for them to go and defecate into the public drainage. And for the noise pollution, we are working on that to make sure that the state has given out a decibel for the day and night in the states where the maximum decibel what people can use for noise in hotels, in lounge and places like that. And this year we are going hard on that. We are not going to relent. We are going to go hard on that so that people can comply. You sleep comfortably at night in your house. You don't fear of listening to noise of clubs and lounge disturbing you while sleeping and all that, people doing VG and all that. So we are working on controlling that. Recently we had a stakeholder engagement whereby we spoke to all stakeholders involved in this, and they are ready to cooperate with the government.
Okay. Alright, thank you so much, sir. We are very grateful. Thank you for joining us and for sharing this important insight. So I'll repeat the Kwepa contacts. We have 091-147-07577. I'll take it again. 0911-470-75770. Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome.
Alright, dear listeners, the message is clear. The environment is everyone's responsibility. Let us work together to keep Kwara State clean, safe and healthy. This has been Can We Talk About It on Emirate Radio 98.5 FM. I am Omotolani Dare Until next time, stay safe and keep your environment clean. And forget not to follow us on all our social media platforms at Emirate Radio 98.5 FM for more details and for interaction. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.